So, hello and good afternoon, good evening, everyone, from wherever you are joining in. First of all, thanks so much for joining in the amazing conference that's going on. And it's so great to meet some perfect analysts and amazing experts around the world, and along with some very interactive audience with us. Today, we will be having a panel discussion mainly on blockchain real world use cases. We will not be focusing on any of the aspect of what, why, and how blockchain. We are moving forwards toward more on the real and live use cases and solutions. And we have our great panelists who will be sharing their stories and sharing their lessons and whatever they have been through in their products and in their journey. So we will have a great chance to learn from them, to hear from them. So before delving into the discussion, I just wanted to briefly introduce myself, not taking too much time of it. So my name is Raneem Rashid, and I'm from Saudi Arabia in Riyadh, and I am currently working as a blockchain consultant in Smart Chain that is based in Saudi. So we are basically dealing with different use cases and products that is focusing on enterprise blockchain solutions along with some public solutions as well. One of the main key product that we have is the card chain, and we are dealing with different use cases in education sector and different like e-drink solutions and crowdsourcing. So we are focusing in different solutions for using blockchain along with combining it with AI. So that's pretty much of my industrial experience in blockchain. Apart from it, I believe that training is as much as vital in the emerging space. So with this, I am associated with Pearson Professional as their emerging technology course instructor for AI, fintech, and courses in the business perspective. So that's pretty much about me in a nutshell. That's so much summarized because I don't really want it to take a lot of time. We have some amazing and great panelists with us, and I would like them to introduce themselves. So first of all, we have Mr. Mohammed Salman. He is joining us from Dubai, UAE. He is managing director of MedSlock Suite and also the Aventus Tech. Welcome, Mohammed. Thank you for being in.
Thank you very much, Raneem, and it's a pleasure to be in this insightful discussion. And my name is, as you mentioned, as Mohammed Salman. I'm representing Aventus Tech and MedSlock as managing director. We are based in Dubai, and we do enterprise blockchain for the governments and one of the United Nations body. Today, very excited to speak about the experiences, to share the exposure and experience we have for the implementation of the production-grade enterprise blockchain solutions. I like the topic of this discussion, that it is about the real implementation cases. So inshallah, we will be discussing some of those from my side, and I'm very much excited to hear some of the other implementations from other panelists as well. Looking forward.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Mr. Mark, and he's joining us from Israel. And he's actually CEO for Fuse Network, and they are doing some very great things with financial inclusion. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining in.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Next, we have Vincent. Vincent is joining us from Belgium, and he is working as a data mesh advisor for a data broker company. Thank you, Vincent, for joining in.
Welcome. So, yes, basically, I'm working about 20 years in ICT and 5 years in IoT environments. And I discovered and I fall in love with blockchain about 2 years ago. So I'm now applying this technology for data sharing and decentralized data sharing and monetization.
Great, nice. Next, we have Dimitri. He is a very perfect combination of blockchain architecture and a cryptographer. And he is joining us from Belarus, and he is working at ISOsoft. So thank you so much, Dimitri, for joining in as well.
Thank you, Raneem. Yeah, I'm glad to be here with all of you. Yes, my name is Dmitry Lovenov, and I'm blockchain architect and cryptographer at Coherent Solutions. It's a custom software company that specializes in providing consulting and outsourcing IT services for small and middle-sized businesses. And with profound expertise in blockchain and cryptography, especially for me, I am responsible for developing and adapting blockchain-based solutions in a vast number of industries like healthcare, finance, real estate. And I would like to note that I'm crazy about cryptography at all. It's my life. Love, because it provides different interesting techniques and solutions in such areas like data privacy, data control, data integrity and immutability, private communication. And according to the fact that one of the main components of blockchain technology is cryptography, one time it attracted me to research blockchain as well.
That's great. Great to have you. Starting from Mohammed, firstly, I would like to know about what actually you are doing in the blockchain space, and from really the perspective of your product, that what you are trying to bring for the users, and what is the real value that you are trying to bring with your solution.
Right. So the value is actually coming from the tech itself, and that's what we are going to discuss now. I think I'm in the space for like around 3-4 years now, and there was like, it's quite a journey in enterprise blockchain sphere. We started with the POCs, then went up doing some pilots, and we were thinking to scale them for the production grade applications. And to be very honest, being in the space and working with the governments, working with the B2B enterprises, it was becoming a challenge to convert the POCs and pilots into a production grade project, because they were not seeing that ROI, to be honest. Like, they were thinking whatever we were doing with the enterprise blockchain, they were thinking that they can achieve with their legacy technology as well, with the centralized databases and all that. So they were a bit reluctant to move forward for the production grade and bringing a lot of cost into the picture. Finally, like with everything, COVID happened, and everything went into the fast forward when it came to the digital transformation. And same happened with the blockchain, enterprise blockchain solutions as well. Now it is at fast forward. What we were thinking that will happen in 2023, now it's going to happen, I think, by next year. And something similar happened with us as well. We came up with the idea that there should be some counter for the COVID-19 outbreak with the help of technology, and we are good with the technology of blockchain and AI. So we combined the both and came up with the pandemic management system on blockchain. That's one of the like rare things at the moment happening in the blockchain sphere. So we understood the entire pandemic cycle, and we designed this app suite of applications. That's why we call it as a MedSlog suite. So it's not just one application, it's a set of applications addressing different functionalities, starting from the healthcare itself, the disease part itself, then the relief management efforts, information management efforts, supply chain management efforts happening during the pandemic, so on and so forth. And there is credential issuance, and like, it's again, a lot of functionalities are involved. So it's a complete set of pandemic management applications, which is bringing a lot of value to the ecosystem now. It is enabling the saving of life, and plus at the same time, will enable the quicker recovery to the economy as well. So this is something I think the maturity of the blockchain itself is telling here. It's not about us doing it. Someone else could have also do it as well. But this is a proven case that blockchain is here to stay. It is here to bring value to the society. And what else we can expect, doing something for the very needed cause of COVID-19 outbreak.
Yeah, that's great. That's one of the things that I really like about our field, the technology, is that we can leverage any technology in whatever use case we want. And it's all about you try to take the challenge and find out any opportunity, like take it as a challenge and come out of some solution out of it, because it's just on the mindset and how you shape up things, because there are different ways of doing things in a different way. So with the blockchain, I believe it really accelerated this whole scenario with the pandemic happened. And we see that we have good use cases happening around with these emerging technologies, like the one you mentioned, that AI, blockchain, and that is very vital for supply chain to be very much aligned. And it really, shakes the whole system, that it needs to be reshaped, redesigned, and restructured in a better way. So I really appreciate the whole idea of your product, that how it is bringing the real value, because everyone was really affected with the pandemic, and everyone is looking up for these solutions. And in this time, these sort of products or startups are the one they can come along and come forward with some solutions to make things easier for the users and for consumers as well. Next, moving forward to Mark, if you please share about something about what Fuse Network is doing, how it is bringing the real financial inclusion, and like how I would say that, wow.
Yeah. So so first of all, it's a nice way to look at it. Why blockchain and open source is cool. You can see companies from people from Israel, Saudi Arabia, and UAE in the same panel together, and
Yeah.
it's just a way to collaborate. Cross-border payments is something people talk a lot about, but open source is really a very profound change. It happens very underneath the surface. Users usually don't care about it, but it's happening slowly, and when it happens, it's changing business models, democratizes the infrastructure costs, lowers barriers. This is what technology does. Open source kind of accelerated this, and the larger trend that we're seeing more recently is really the fact that people just want to use their phone to pay, and it has nothing to do with open source, or it has nothing to do with crypto. It's really a consumer demand. It's something people feel more comfortable with. We think crypto can be a great rails for those types of use cases. Anywhere in the world, it's pretty universal. People with phones want to use them to pay. It's just a very universal consumer demand. And we built Fuse with this idea that crypto can be an infrastructure. So users don't necessarily want to use Bitcoin or Ethereum. They can still use crypto rails underneath the surface, but with cash, with loyalty points, with air miles, with anything that has to do with money, or anything that has to do with the medium of exchange. So I'm actually in this space for a lot of time. Started in 2013. This company was trying to do Bitcoin payments. Then we realized that it's really early, but also nobody is going to use Bitcoin to pay for coffee. It's like going to a coffee shop and pay with gold or with the Facebook stock. It doesn't really make sense. Then we opened a new company. One of the first blockchain companies in Israel called Colo was doing the Color Coins protocol. And then we tried to really represent real world assets on the blockchain. This is the project that was the Bitcoin version of Ethereum before Ethereum existed. Vitalik was actually part of this team. But the technology was really early. The ideas were there. The implementation took a lot of years to create. Today we can say that Ethereum is de facto the HTTP of money. And places that can use this as an infrastructure are places without Visa. So a lot of people can say, why do you need an alternative to Visa? And I say, most of the world didn't hear about Visa, like South America, Africa, Asia. They don't use Visa, and they're not going to use Visa in the future. And it's really a technology from the 60s. So we're ready to replace it. That's how we do financial inclusion.
Oh, that's great. So that's one of the more important things that you have mentioned about Visa as well, because that's what I have been already also asked so many times about why we are not going to use Visa, and why we are trying to say that no, Visa is not going to bringing you that much value. And people started comparing things with blockchain, that maybe thinking that we are trying to replace Visa with blockchain. So that's not how the whole situation seems. And another important thing that I have noticed from your work is mostly you have worked into the public chain sector. So how is it for you to manage working on the public blockchain? Because for most of the use cases, I see that we have private and enterprise solutions. And from the experience of adoption, I see that enterprise blockchain is easier to plan, to you can say, to analyze that, because we don't have to worry on so much aspect as much as we have to worry in public. So what was your input on that?
Yeah, so very easy. I think blockchain is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's an idea. And Bitcoin is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It came to solve one specific problem. And it called it a blockchain in order to be able to transfer value without a third party. They needed a blockchain for that business problem. Private blockchain space doesn't have this problem. Like, this is not a problem for the private blockchain space. So private blockchain space is solving other business problems that they have, post-trade settlement, stuff like that, that has nothing really to do necessarily with removing intermediaries. So there's a very different pushes, and in my view, private blockchain space is very important, but it's more of a hedge against public blockchain space. They're kind of in a competition. You're solving different business problems. One day they will connect, and then they will compete directly, like, in my opinion.
Let me add, I think I totally agree with Mark that today is not the time for the public blockchains and as it is looking like, but tomorrow, one day, they will become one, and there will be not much distinction between the two. Use cases currently are different, but I think future will be for the hybrid.
Yeah, exactly right. Thank you, Mohammed, for your inputs. We had some points mentioned from Mark. Moving forward, we have Vincent with us. Vincent, can you please tell us about the work that you are doing and at Data Broker, and what you are going to bring with blockchain technology? And apart from having this question, I really wanted to first know about what Data Match Advisor do, because this is the first time I have heard, honestly, like Data Match Advisor. So I just really wanted to know about what really you do. Like, is there something matching, or what you are doing with data? So that's really important to know first. You're on mute, Vincent. Yeah.
It's a kind of dating exercise. So I daily receive contact from organizations searching for data. And so what I do is basically I match them with organization having the data. Right? So it's a kind of dating site, but for organization searching and having data. And it applies to any type of data, worldwide, environment, industry, photo, smart buildings, any type. And it could be public data or private data as well. So that's my role as a data match advisor. Now, we use basically the blockchain as a technology for enabling decentralized data sharing and monetization. So Data Broker is a data marketplace, but also a way to exchange data in a safe way and a decentralized way. Because today, if you go to the market and you want to exchange data, you go usually through a third party, like Azure or AWS. And so there is a third party potentially having access to your data. In particular, if you want to monetize your data on marketplace, you store your data on the marketplace, and from there, then a third party can access it. Like you do with WeTransfer.com. You send your data to WeTransfer, and from there, somebody else can access the data now. When we look to the old organization, like IoT sensors, smart building, for example, they are looking for having the data exchange between peers and not going out to a third party, not going in the cloud. So also, if you do look to exchange of data between two banks, then it's likely that they will not be happy that somebody has access to that data. Or if I have two hospitals exchanging data between them about what about the privacy of the people, the data it concerns. So blockchain fixed this issue. And basically what we have implemented is that blockchain is handling the relation between the data user and the data provider. As soon as there is a match and they agree to exchange data with each other, we use a small piece of software that makes when it's received a request to access the data, then it's checking the validity of the relation between the two parties. So it's a bit of mix of software and blockchain to handle the transactions between the peers. There is another things that we do with blockchain so that you can do revenue sharing. Because you can have an IoT platform collecting data, which is not from them, this is from their clients. And so we can say, if you sell that data, a certain percentage is going to the data owner and another percentage going to the IoT platform that facilitates the data exchange. So you can spread that. So connected car, you can have a part going to the insurance, a part going to the driver, maybe because he allows to share the data from his car. So it enables different business model. And the last thing we do with blockchain is to provide a warranty on the data itself. If you buy data, as it's a decentralized system, there is no way of checking is the data valid or not, because you don't see that the data is going between the peers. But as a data buyer, if you have a claim, say, hey, the data is not correct, it's not according what I was supposed to get, then you can have a claim, and then the data provider will not get the money for that data. So we use that blockchain for warranty and provide some safety features for data buyers. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Thanks, Vincent. That's really interesting to know about the work that you are doing. Specifically, what I feel is that you are playing with data. Like everything revolves around data, and the way that you are leveraging blockchain technology for this data game, because we know that this is one of the most critical thing that you are dealing with. Like the data is going to be very precious and very important, like the thing that you have mentioned, like there will be selling and buying. So data is the one thing that is already in demand, and that is going to be more in demand in the future. So I think so that's one of the good and amazing use cases that I have heard using blockchain technology. So that's really great to know about data broker and you as a data mesh advisor, because after hearing all of it, I can really imagine how much critical work you are doing with data matching. So that's really great. Dimitri, he's joining us from Coherent Solutions as a blockchain architect. What do you have in the market, and what do you have for your users, and what you are trying to bring the unique value to the customers? Please share about it.
Thank you, Ranim. Yes, as I said before, Coherent Solutions is a custom software company, and in general, we mostly focus on clients' needs. But to provide a real, valuable, and effective blockchain-based solutions to our clients, we first try to understand, do they know how it works in general? Because there are a lot of clients that don't know and all benefits. And in case they do, we hardly work on understanding where they truly need blockchain in their businesses. After that, I can say that our unique feature in some sense close to data, as Mark said, but it's a deep cryptography and blockchain technology understanding. We don't use various existing blockchain-based solutions, blockchain frameworks like from Hyperledger community, Corda, public blockchain, Ethereum, BitShares, as a simple tool to be applied. We all time investigate, research new approaches and solutions like one of the last example. Have you ever thought about the number of documents and its significance that may contain your personal information and how it can be misused? I would like to know that all such documents have been used for a long time as simple paper documents under our full control. We may decide ourselves who can see this information, but now it's a new world, as we can say, that needs new approach. Data of any kind can simultaneously be both incredibly beneficial and damaging. A lot of businesses and government entities use information technology solutions to make our life easier and better. But can you really trust the apps on devices with our data? As we can see, in 2016, the personal information of 57 million users was breached at Uber. Facebook faces database data leak of 419 million users in 2019. According to the McAfee research in 2018, more than 40% of people worldwide feel they lack control over their personal data. That's why we are able to combine different blockchain solutions and frameworks with additional cryptography layers to bring features for data like confidentiality, integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. And together, it provides solutions with greater transparency, enhanced security, improved traceability, reduced costs. And in these ways, we try to help our clients to solve their business issues.
Oh, that's great. So the main thing that you are dealing is what I feel is the important part is the data privacy, because even when we talk about as much as secure technology like blockchain, we still have concerns over security, and we still have questions raising from the one who is going to adopt it. They are like, how you are sure that it is secure? Okay, we had cryptography before, but what it is doing different in blockchain now? Because cryptography is not a new thing. It's these algorithms are an old technology. So that's what's really much important to deal with the data privacy issues that Dimitri have mentioned. And it's really great to know about the work that they are doing at Coherent Solutions. Moving forward, I would like to really know about the real benefits that you really faced by using a blockchain-based solutions from a business perspective. What you found really much beneficial for your organization or for your business, that, okay, fine, if we are into this blockchain market, this is something that is really boosting us and boosting our business. So what's your input on that, starting from Mohammed?
Yes, that's, I think, the thing which normally when you go to the governments and the businesses, they ask what will be the ROI. And that's the business question they need to answer first before choosing the technology. Because again, blockchain is no more a buzzword. It is no more, we are no more in 2018 or 19. We are in 2020 and moving forward for the 2021. So people ask this question, what will be the ROI? And we need to be very clear about that. Otherwise, the decision makers we are dealing with, they don't have much time for like just listening the stories. So we have to be very calculative about how it will be beneficial for their workflow, which they are going to vent. Because obviously with the blockchain, there will be some element of decentralization and distributed databases, distributed data structure will be involved. So there will be a change that has to be also be addressed. So the ROI to bring that change, to like justify that change has to be very clear. Cost is one factor because most of the blockchain-based solutions are on Hyperledger. Permission blockchain solutions are on Hyperledger Fabric, and similarly, there are many other open source protocols and the blockchain platforms we are using. So they all offer something which is very important for the clients, and that is the less operational cost. Yes, capex will be there. The capital expenditure in the beginning will be there for the acquisition of the software or application, but while on the road of the using it for a year, few years down the road, that will be their benefit. That the operational expenditures for reducing the our elimination of the annual licenses per users, such kind of gimmicks are not there. That's one of the major ROI for the blockchain-based solution, which generally addresses the we can say the appeal to the CFOs, especially more than the CTOs and CIOs. For the CTOs and CIOs or the users of that particular solution, a blockchain-based solution, they need to see how their operational efficiency will enhance and how their data or how their workflow will get more secure or more like mutable or transparent. Of course, it isn't the DNA of blockchain to do this, but still, if it is done in the right manner, that is, again, I'll repeat, if it is done in the right manner, if you have trying to do the some kind of replication of a centralized model in the blockchain, then of course there will not be much of the benefit you will get from doing this change, bringing this change, and bringing a new cost to the architecture, new complexity to the architecture. So this is again to be noted that you have to do the workflow based on the strengths and limitations of blockchain, which both are there. Blockchain is still, we will not say it's in infancy stage, but permission blockchains, of course, have some production grade issues. So you have to be aware of that while you are designing the workflow and implementing it for the like kind of a new architecture for the organization. So yes, efficiency of the operations, security of the data and workflow, and of course the budgetary benefits are the three major benefits beside the ecosystem connectivity between the suppliers, because again the blockchain use cases are only beneficial when there is like a proper use case. For example, there are multiple writers involved in that particular system. So there are suppliers, distributors, competitors, regulators are all on board on this that system. Of course, then there is a utility of the blockchain to be included. So yes, these are the things which we have to address in our initial meetings, and if the other party, the client, sees the value, then of course things move forward.
Oh, that's great. Mark, please, can you add on?
Yeah, so in my opinion, technology doesn't equal innovation. So technology that enables new types of business models, that's innovation. So blockchain, I don't think it's an innovation. Even Satoshi didn't really invent blockchain. There were different attempts before. It was at the right time and the right place. And more importantly, 2 years before Bitcoin, the iPhone was released. So what you really see is technology that is really giving Ben-grade, financial infrastructure that is slowly moving from something that had only armies had it, and then slowly it gets into enterprise, and then the end game is to have it with consumers, to give every user a private key. If blockchain adoption will not come with a tectonic shift in the way money works, will not come with new business models, will completely change the roles of custodians, intermediaries, financial institutions, then we really didn't improve that much. It's really just a new type of database, maybe more efficient, maybe more useful. But really the goal is to give every person a private key. There's no other way, there's no really a way to do it if everything keeps on being centralized. So I think we're currently exploring where we want to be on a spectrum of centralization and decentralization. Clearly, not everything needs to be on a blockchain, and maybe not everything needs to be centralized. The truth is somewhere in the middle. Right now, I think it's really about cycles. That there's more marketing cycles than anything else. What we see is more transactions, more developers that use it, more organizations that start to open up, more closer to mainstream. What people see, outside this space is the price, which goes up and down, and it's really not the best indicator, because the changes that we're talking about are slow. Right now, if I want to replace Visa and I come to a VC and tell him this is my plan to replace Visa, they don't really know what I'm talking about. VCs know only one business model, it's SaaS. There's no business models that VCs know about that they can, plan around or anticipate. It's like we're in uncharted territories right now. So that's really the way we see it. Like we need to offer a new method if we want to launch something that will replace Visa.
Yeah. Vincent, can you please add on your inputs on that?
Yep, sure. From my side, maybe I will deviate a bit from the blockchain, because as you are focusing on data, I can maybe explain 2 use cases basically that we recently addressed. First one is about smart buildings, because we see that in smart buildings, about 80% of the cost of a building is around operations, and it lasts for 25 years. It means that it's huge costs there. So, and we investigated 3 use cases. The first use case is about coffee supply, understanding how coffee is used in a building, what kind of brands, and the frequency, and so on. By learning about that, basically we reduced 22% the price for the cost for the coffee supply. You can imagine that a building of like 6,800 people or employees, it consumes about 1 million coffee cups a year. So it's huge cost, and understanding how it is used then give you the power to negotiate better with your supplier. The second use case for the smart buildings about cleaning costs operation. So when you start to collect data from the weather information from the people, or which location, which area they are moving, and you feed an AI algorithm to define when a cleaning robot has to clean the surface, then we reduce basically by 63% maintenance cost for cleaning. And the third one in the smart building is about energy consumption. So basically today, a building is like is consuming energy. So you reload batteries from the cars, company cars in the parking, and you consume the energy. In the future, the energy, you will have to be smarter with that, because the cost will likely go up. And blockchain here, mixed with data, will basically allow for a building to store the energy in batteries, in water tanks, and basically recharge or store the energy during the off-peak hours, and resell it back to the grid during the peak hours. So there is a huge business case, an interesting business case behind energy exchange with smart building, storing and reselling the energy to the grids. So these are 3 use cases for smart buildings. And I can give one highlight on another one we are working in is about safety studies that you do on chemical molecules. Today, organizations in the petrochemicals are doing studies on animals to test that the molecule doesn't affect, that it's safe, basically. And so there are so many organizations doing that. But what if all these tests, these studies would be available to buy, basically? And so you could buy the study instead of doing the study yourself. So you would reduce the number of tests on animals. It will be faster to go to the market with your product, because you can prove it's safe. And this data exchange enabled all these kind of business models and change the way we think about data. It's basically to use it to improve our business process and also to generate supplementary revenue. And this is basically enabled by blockchain for decentralized data sharing.
Yeah, that's great. Dimitri, can you please add on, and later I will add my comments.
First of all, I would like to say that I like Mark's point that blockchain is innovation for this type of businesses. And for me, one of the benefits that blockchain brings to businesses is bringing trust between different parties organizations, people in like, let's consider the following situation. In simple word, you are sitting with your friend. Your friend, for example, has a unique picture that costs around $10,000. And why we can say that the picture is unique? Because the friend has all documents that prove uniqueness, and you can easily prove it. And so you decided to buy it. So you give $10,000 to your friend. After that, the friend gives you the picture. That was simple. But in case digital picture and digital data at all, we can't be sure in it, because somebody is able to make copies. We can't be sure that it's unique. So in other words, if you have some sort of digital information, there are a lot of cases when we need to be sure that information is valid, and we need trustless solutions. And despite the fact that Coherent is a custom software company, but we have our internal blockchain-based solutions, and we use the blockchain brings trust in the following scenario. As you know, client satisfaction is one of the key characteristics of custom software company. That's why it's important to provide trusted information about the satisfaction for new potential customers. And the main goal of our solution is to improve visibility into the status of engagement for both Coherent and client. So in short, overall status for all the processes get published by smart contracts to all clients that have access to it. And using blockchain for this ensures that once information is entered, it cannot be easily modified by Coherent. And for our blockchain brings trust to new potential customers.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing, small thing about what Dimitri said, which I totally agree. If you look into all the sharing economy, like big companies, Uber, Airbnb, companies like that, they're mainly giving you a marketplace and offer payments and reputation. Basically, pretty much all of those companies, they do the same thing. They give you a two-sided marketplace with payments and reputation. And when you take a Uber cab or something, they actually do like a background check on you, check if you can eligible. If you're actually getting credit in real time from Uber each time you're getting in a cab. They're basically a bank. In some countries, they're de facto a bank, like Grab. You have WeChat, which is a kind of a bank. Like most of those business models could be easily replaced. And remember that the traditional fee they take is 30%. So that's a profound change. If you can do this for the data, if you can just enable, any company offer this type of service. But also for governments, you're taking a list of I don't know, real estate, and you can have a real estate insurance list of I don't know, a ledger for healthcare, and you get healthcare insurance. So there's a lot of stuff. Blockchain is a nice buzzword, but in the end of the day, this is what the buzzword means, that we can create those ecosystems around data.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's really, I would like to just summarize what our panelists really discuss about the benefits. For me, what I really define that it is actually a team sport. Like when you're talking about blockchain, it's not just an individual thing that we are talking about. We are trying to bring up everything in a form of team, and we are trying to building up an ecosystem. So the benefit is really much connected with each other in terms of business or in terms of a user's benefit. So if you are trying to build up something on it, make sure that you all are playing together in a form of team. So that's really much important for your solution to be having a really real business value, and also for a real value for the consumers as well. And some points that you have already really much very much important, the ROI, because we cannot really negate from the views and from the number game. So you have to make sure that you are really talking about what ROI you are bringing with solution, and the other thing is mainly is the business model. That's really much debating, and you all have really justified with the questions that what is the real benefits of in the using blockchain-based solutions from the business perspective. Moving forward, I think that we don't have always the grass is not always greener anyways. So I just really wanted to know about some of the main challenges, because I know there are a lot of challenges that is being faced by all of the blockchain based companies or startups or solution providers. What are some of the key challenges, like 2 to 3, that really hits you hard and you really wanted to share? Just in a brief, I really wanted to know about it from all of you, starting from Mohammed, please.
Yeah, I'll just, I think, bring 2 or 3. One, of course, is a very common challenge that people mix it up with the Bitcoins or the cryptocurrencies. So yes, of course, that you need to address first, that it has other value than the just exchange of the value or exchange of the money, etc. So first you have to cross that hurdle to get the solution going forward. Second, the expectations from blockchain, sometimes like there is like, they have their own learning. All of the people, they learn through articles, they attend some conferences or attend some webinars, watch some YouTube videos. So they have some limited knowledge, which generally doesn't help us. How? Because they have like the benefits of the blockchain in their like idea is very different than the actual benefit of the blockchain. So they believe that it is absolutely, once they will deploy something on blockchain, there is no need of any security measure to take place and it will be 100% secure. They believe that even the data input will be 100% accurate as well. Data is going to be like entered by a human, and human will make mistake. Human can do mischief while entering the data. Blockchain is an enabler for the trackability or immutability, but it is not going to like go into the head of the or into the like entry system of that person, that okay, you have to do 100% correct entry, or you have to enter 100% correct information into the system. Yes, the blockchain down the road will be helpful for the trackability, with its trackability, traceability, and immutability features, that it will identify there is the source of that wrong information. So it is going to help, but it is not going to like be an enforcer of the 100% accurate information in the system. Similarly, there are some other like myths about blockchain which we generally have to address while implementation, and on the way it is with the users, it is with the decision makers, so on and so forth. So yes, challenges are there, and I think in like year or 2 years time, a lot of like at least the users will get friendly with the distributed architecture or the nature of the decentralized ledger system. So they will be understanding that part, how to deal it in a more effective way. So currently these are the major challenges which we have to face.
Yeah, Mark, please.
So I think that really the thing that is a big challenge is really trying to change consumer behavior. If you look right now on crypto, let's say, let's look at Ethereum. I ask people sometimes, is it B2B or B2C? And it's a bit confusing because there's a lot of people that hold it and don't really know that it's basically a cloud platform, sort of AWS. You know, it's a product that in you know, tech people would use, developers, not really for consumers. And usually it's easier than B2C. It's easier to sell to a business than to sell millions of consumers and having to change their behavior and stuff like that. So consumer adoption takes time. It's slow, it's harder. Usually it's only if you give people money or let them spend money or something. It's usually, you know, things that are like greed are more engaging for consumers. It's not the tactics that you use when you're selling B2B. So B2B is happening much faster than B2C usually. It's much like the chances of successes are much higher. But again, this is my point exactly. we want to be able to remove this distinction between B2B and B2C. Any user can connect to a public blockchain. It doesn't need to be an organization. It could be a private person. So really, it's a change that takes time. And I think we're really starting to see, up until 2017, the discussions were really about like maybe 1 or 2 use cases on Ethereum. ICOs were the big hype. DeFi is really much more than ICOs. There's a lot more stuff that you have, like much more sophistication, much more consumers now know about stablecoins, know about those financial instruments that are pretty much crazy and sometimes very confusing, but some of them are really genius. So that takes time to trust it, takes time for adopting it, and underneath the surface things happen much faster. But from the outside, usually it doesn't look like that. Usually it's everybody talk about it, nobody's doing it, and then everybody's doing it. It's talking about.
Yeah, you're right. Vincent, can you have some comments, please?
Yeah, so basically what we've built is a two-sided marketplace, data marketplace, that you do not have data provider if you don't have the data users. And if you do not have the other side, you don't have the data providers. So the opposite, no user will be on the platform. So you have to build basically the community from both sides, from the user and from the provider. And you need to start basically what we learned, that you have to start from the user point of view, because if they are user, the provider will be easier to onboard. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge that we face basically as we convert basically fiat to crypto. So the data buyer will pay in euro, so in fiat, but the seller will get crypto on a wallet, right? And the market is not yet used to get this kind of money, and certainly when it fluctuates. And so we need ways to explain why we apply blockchain and crypto to large organizations that are not used to have that. So that was the second challenge that we are facing.
Wow. I know you must all be having so many challenges. So that's really just the tip of iceberg that you're sharing with me. So Dimitri, just can you please share very quick the hugest challenge that we have faced in the journey? Because we are about to end the panel now, please.
Yeah, okay. Maybe from B2C consumer, I would like to say that it's a lack of knowledge and understanding for consumers. My point is close to Marcus now as well. I would like to add that I already had a lot of conversation, and in case you just to say it's a blockchain solution, a lot of people start to think that it's connected with the cryptocurrency, finance, not just a solution that can bring trust or data security or data integrity. And if we are talking about B2B, I would like to say today we don't have real blockchain framework or solutions that really help businesses, because we are always can easy to create POC solution to demo to demonstrate to our clients. But in case we are talking about real production grade solutions, we don't have today a real framework or solution that can be applied to solve current issues in a fast way, because we always need to have a balance between security, speed, and user-friendly experience.
Yeah, that's pretty much in part that you have already, all of them you mentioned. Gigo is there, technical challenges, legal challenges, business, rich tax, so unlimited. I know that we cannot count. So and just as a last question, I really wanted to have a key takeaway from our panel is that what is the lesson learned you wanted to share, just some suggestions or some of your really wanted to share for all of the business startups that they're planning to have blockchain-based business something. So just please one-liner key takeaway for our audience. Mohammed, please.
Yes, I'll keep it within line so that keep the blockchain as an enabler. It is not the solution for every problem in the digital transformation.
Thank you, Mark.
So was I audible?
Yeah. We can hear you.
One-liner about what we learned.
Yes.
What key takeaway? That we're doing right now rapid experimentation. So I think we're in the experimentation phase, and it's happening on a very different scale. You know, billions of dollars being tested with new innovative ideas. Something interesting will come out of it. That's my key takeaway.
Yeah, means test and learn, right?
Yeah.
Vincent, please.
Yeah, I think one sentence, think global. So today, blockchain is still small, and there's a small adoption is growing fast. But to make business possible and sustainable, you have to think global.
Yeah, nice. So Dimitri?
From my experience, I've learned that blockchain potentially can bring trust between different parties, people, organization, and businesses, and government as well.
Yeah, so that's really all about our panel today, and we have so much things to discuss about, and we have really so many things to learn from all of our panelists because they have been through a long journey. They must have something really great to share with us. So for me, also the key takeaway that I really wanted to share is the same, that blockchain is not a solution for everything. Just jump onto the bandwagon. And also the main thing that Vincent already mentioned is that think in a global perspective, think for a user, keep yourself user focused. Don't just go towards technical side and thinking just for your business. So thank you so much for all panelists joining in from different regions and different areas. It was really nice to have a great talk and learn about some of the great work that you are doing in the blockchain space. And that's all for our panel today. And for all of the attendees that who have joined ever since, if they have any questions and they wanted to know something more about us or our work, we can available on any of the social media platforms. You will be able to join us and have more discussion on anything that you wanted to relate with our work in blockchain. Thank you so much to all our panelists for joining in. I really appreciate your time, and it's really great to have your insights.
All right, thank you very much.
All of you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You're welcome. Bye-bye.